Hi everyone. I want to share a reminder that just came to me while I was talking to my amazing coach practitioner about the spoken word. The spoken word, what we say that comes out of our mouth, the spoken word is spell. That means when we speak, we cast a spell. The spoken word is actually a prayer. So what comes out of our mouth and what we are saying to ourselves and to others, even if it seems very innocuous and we're doing it in a conversation and oh my God, this always happens to me. I always get sick when I'm exposed to this chemical, which is something I would say, for instance, because I have this history of chronic illness and sensitivity. If I'm saying that, I'm repeating that, the universe is going to continue to create experiences that reflect that spoken word, that spell, that prayer. Right? And what I'm sharing here is not to ever ask you to suppress your emotions or suppress expressing your emotions, because that is part of healing and transmutation. What I'm asking is for us to be mindful, and I've been watching this with myself, mindful of what we say. Because even when we're expressing our emotions, there's a way we can do it mindfully so that we stay in our window of presence, as my trauma therapist calls it. It's a window of presence, the functional range. When we say something really inflammatory or really heavy, we can go down below that functional range or go up and get very excited. And so what that does is it takes us out of our body and it creates, right? If we listen to all the work of Joe Dispenza and many like him, it creates the chemicals in our body that literally alter our body. So the words that we speak our body is listening to them. And because I've dealt with a chronic illness for 20 years and all these kinds of things, I have watched myself in the past when I've been going through very challenging circumstances say on many occasions, I feel like I'm dying. Okay, and I've said this many times. And I used to do that for years. And I just noticed, not saying that anymore. And the truth was, I did feel like I was dying. That was the only way I could express the gravity of the situation, that like I was on the floor and spinning and vertigo and felt like knives were cutting into my body and pain and I wanted to go to the hospital. That's what I felt like. But I don't have to express it in that gravity every time repeatedly, because those words are becoming spoken spell. And I didn't realize that. And my body is listening to the words I say. So I can still be authentic in my sharing of my experience. And I can use different words like, I'm really on struggle street right now. This is one that my trauma therapist told me. Or, it's really heavy today. Okay, and look, sometimes we're humans. Sometimes it's just going to be super intense and it's going to be too much. And I'm going to say, I feel like I'm fucking dying today. I can't take it anymore. That's fine. We're human. These are like guideposts, right? That isn't serving me. That's not serving my body, even if that's the truth. There's a way for me to express so that somebody can receive me and I could be like, this is really hard for me and I'm really exhausted. Because I'm really good at now watching my reactions to things and really keeping a state of peace. But sometimes I need to vent, because it's normal to want to express your emotions of sadness or fear and anger or whatever emotion you're feeling, right? We need to get them out. So just being positive all the time and being like, I feel great. Oh, how am I doing? I feel awful inside. And you tell someone I feel great. That doesn't feel good. But there's a way to be mindful of the words and really remember that your mind, your subconscious, and your body are listening. And if they are listening, wouldn't you be careful with the words that you use and craft them in a way that you realize is spoken spell? Oh, I've been really sensitive to those chemicals in the past, but I'm, working on transmuting it or whatnot. And even if that doesn't feel accurate, it's just helpful to be gentle with your words and not repeat something that isn't in service. Obviously, you're going to have to repeat it if you are with a therapist or with a doctor, but like now what I do, if I need to get some really heavy emotions out and I need to be witnessed, I'm very careful of two things. Number one, okay, I can see this needs to have a witness. Who is the person that I'm sharing it with? That's super important, because if you're sharing it with someone, they're like, oh my God, that's so awful, you're just there. It's a contribution to the exacerbation of your victimhood, and that's not the story we want to tell, and that's not the story that's true, right? So I have a couple friends who really get my situation with my health history and my emotional body, and if I need to vent, they hear me and they receive me, but they don't believe the story that I'm a victim. They actually remind me of the truth of who I am and where this is taking me. And that helps me. I ask all my friends. I do not allow any of my friends to say, I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm so sorry that's happening to you. I'm so sorry. It does not work for me. It resonates with a victimhood for me, and it does not feel good. I am not saying you can't say those words. I'm just sharing words that do not resonate for me. I don't want people saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I've heard that my whole life when I have been ill. I'm not interested. I'm not here to be felt sorry for. It's actually like part of my path. This is an unfolding of my path. So I'm very careful of who I share the venting with, because I want these people to be in alignment with my understanding that they can help elevate me. They can see me, witness me, and love me, not feel sorry for me or pity me, and also remember what I'm here for. And then, number 2, when you're venting or releasing the emotion, which is very important. So, this may be in contradiction to when I say be mindful of your words. When I say be mindful of your words, it doesn't mean that you can't share your true, authentic emotion. You want to do so in a way, or I have found it's helpful to do so in a way, I don't want to tell you what to do, that is expressing the emotion, but you will get to a point, this is the point that I'm at, where you can actually see the story. You can see the story, so you can witness the story. So even if I'm like, I can't believe he did that, that felt so hurtful. I know that that's not about that other person. I know it's about the wound inside, but I can watch the story. So if you can witness, if you can feel the feeling but not identify with it, if you can express the emotion but not become it, right? Then you're setting it free. And I'm not saying this happens right at the beginning of our journey, but over time we become more acquainted with emotional alchemy and with this transmutation process. And this is done by really watching what we say, who we say it to, and how we say it, and how we are with ourselves in the process, right? So when we are sharing deep, dark emotions, we can do so in a more mindful way. And then the rest of the time, we are mindful of what we are speaking to ourselves. We really have to remember that what comes out of our mouths is a spell. So I do I channel prayers, and I also do a thing called commands, which are kind of like affirmations, but they're a bit more potent. And anytime I do these commands or channel a prayer, I have had dozens, if not more, miracles occur in my body. My body will shift immediately. My emotional state will shift immediately. It's happened over and over when I channel these prayers and when I speak these commands. And what is that? It's just words. All it is words and energy, right? So the words carry energy. So if I can shift my body miraculously with my commands and my prayer in the positive sense, obviously anything I'm speaking in negative sense will also affect my body and my mind and my spirit. So that's why I want to just mention to be super mindful of the words that you use, not suppress the emotions, not suppress your expression, because that's so important, but be mindful and remember our spoken word is spell.